Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head? This is a quote taken from one of my most favorite animated Disney and Pixar films, Inside Out. And in this movie, it follows the journey of a young girl who goes through a lot of different changes in her life, and it goes and explores her emotions and some of the decisions she makes and the cognitive processes that she goes through as she decides how to handle different and new situations. And watching this, it kind of piqued my interest, and it really did have me start asking the same question, like, what really goes on inside someone's head? What are the motives behind some of the things they say or do? And this led to me wanting to take Professor Berchtold's social psychology course online. And the topics that we've discussed this semester are exactly that. We've gone into many different areas in which we've dissected some of the very many different ways that and things that are explained for our behavior and some of the ways that we perceive other people, how we feel, how we make decisions. And in the textbook that we've been reading, Principles of Psychology, the first international H5P edition written by Dr. Rajiv Jangiani and Dr. Hammond Terry, the concepts of cognitive processes and behavior are explored and explained in an engaging way for students to learn, and I found that I was able to really understand and comprehend the different concepts, and it helped me learn more about myself and the way I think. And there were two main concepts discussed this semester that I thought were super intriguing, and those were Chapter 3, which was self-esteem, and Chapter 8, which was discussing altruism. Now, to begin, self-esteem. That is defined as the positive or negative feelings that we have about ourselves, and this can better be explained, or more simply put, as how we feel about ourselves and our image as people. And having high self-esteem is when we can feel accepted by others and when we've accomplished a hard task. It is categorized as good things and good emotions, thoughts, feelings, etc. Having low self-esteem is the opposite, in which we feel outcast or criticized, and this is like everything: bad thoughts, bad emotions, bad feelings, bad outlook on who we are. And on average, it's been proven that most people have a generally positive self-esteem, and that made me curious exactly, like, how do we maintain a high positive self-esteem? Like, what is something I can do so that I can maintain a higher self-esteem, as I am someone who does, from time to time, struggle with always staying positive and always having a good image about myself. And in the book, it talks about making connections with people, and as I kept reading, I started to realize that we can make connections every day, whether it be through social media or finding a social in-group at work or school. I've noticed that in my life, that having a group to belong to promotes a higher self-esteem, as each member contributes to one another and they encourage each other to have higher confidence in each member, and they rely on each other and they value each other's company. And having this positive self-esteem, no matter where you are, is extremely useful and important. Like discussed previously, we can make better relationships with people. These relationships not only make us feel valued, but in a realistic world, it can lead to us, let's say, finding a job, because as we make relationships and we do social networking, we are able to connect with more people, which would give us more opportunities to find jobs and to be accepted for open positions. The next topic that I'd like to discuss is altruism, and in the book it's defined as any behavior that is designed to increase another person's welfare, and particularly those actions that do not seem to provide a direct reward to the person who performs them. So essentially, we're doing something for someone else without wanting or expecting anything in return. And this can look like a lot of different things. For example, it can be a service project, so volunteer landscaping for an elderly couple, or even just cleaning your parents' house when they didn't ask you to. These are great examples of this, and they can also be even simpler than that. Being able to sit down and listen to a person who's been going through a hard time, or even like buying a bouquet of flowers for a friend or significant other just to let them know that they are heard and loved and cared for. And any behavior that or act that promotes another person without receiving anything in return, again, this is what qualifies for this. It can be as big or as simple as you want to make it. And being able to be altruistic and show altruism on the daily has been shown to be both important to the person doing the acts and the person receiving it, because in general, a person who is more altruistic is happier. It increases their mood, and because they enjoy being able to serve others and promote positivity in communities. It's also super important in today's world because it can decrease the contention that people feel towards each other in relationships. It can promote a commonality and a level ground and just a chance for connection between differing groups. Now, why did I choose these two concepts? I thought that both of these were extremely interesting, but the most interesting thing about these two is how intercorrelated they are with each other. Let me explain. When a connection through altruism is formed, our self-esteem and their self-esteem grows stronger and more positive. They go hand in hand and are directly related. As you are more altruistic, the higher your self-esteem will be, and vice versa. We feel successful in helping and serving others, and others feel valued and accepted because of our attention and care for them. And in another one of my favorite movies, in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, one of the characters, Anakin Skywalker, briefly touches on the subject of compassion and says that compassion is an unconditional love for others. And compassion can be more directly linked to altruism, and I think, and from these concepts and from the relationship I was able to make from these two, I was able to make the connection that with more compassion and altruism for others, people in society can create better and lasting relationships and connections with others. And I'm grateful that I had this opportunity to take this course and learn more about altruism and self-esteem, and not only that, but the rest of how we function as people, how we think, and what goes behind our day-to-day decisions and the things that we say. And I know that with more altruism, we will promote a higher self-esteem, and in general, it'll create a happier community, happier society, and we can create a happier world.